Hollywood may have milked superheroes dry, as since the release of a small indie film called Avengers Endgame, there has been over 50 comic book movies released in theaters, which has led to Marvel losing half of its audience, and every studio out there having countless flops. As we go from a time where obscure characters can lead terrible movies like Captain Marvel and Aquaman to make over $1 billion, to now even Superman falling far short of that, which has gotten everyone asking, has superheroes as a genre just run its course and going the same route of relevancy as the Western, as we've reaped the irreversible damage of superhero fatigue? But there's been one little red guy out there who's been able to weather this storm, as out of those 50 comic book movies, only 4 of them were able to break $1 billion, and 2 of them coming from your friendly neighborhood pizza boy. And not only that, No Way Home was able to make almost $2 billion. That is over triple the box office of Superman's James Gunn. So, if any movie can go back to making gangbusters, I think the safest bet would be another Spider-Man sequel, to turn the page on the era of superhero slop and begin a brand new day, reigniting interest in future films, or Marvel will learn nothing and greenlight the Marvels too.
Hey, Black Girl Magic!
But even though it is certain that Spider-Man will be a huge blockbuster, being profitable and being a quality film are 2 different conversations. Just gotta point to the resume of Jurassic World. So, as we finally got our first look for Spider-Man Brand New Day, we can start to speculate on if this movie can deliver the same insane amount of hype that No Way Home did, as this trailer gave us the Hulk, the Punisher, the Hand, Scorpion, maybe Jean Grey, and maybe Daredevil all packed into this film, which is all pretty neat, but will ultimately be worthless if this is a poorly written film. And it makes it an even harder task to do all these characters justice with how different and disconnected all these characters are. Now, No Way Home obviously had a lot of characters too, so Brand New Day can definitely pull this off if they execute it well. But that's also a pretty big if when they just have so much to juggle. And one of the most recurring concerns for this film that I've seen is how the Hulk is going to fit into all this. Now, I'm personally a little bit less worried about this and think that it can actually be really rad to have the Hulk in here, but that is if and only if we get the Hulk from the Avengers and not the soy Hulk from She-Hulk and Endgame.
Damn.
And what we can expect from Hulk is that he's probably not going to be in Avengers Doomsday, but is in Brand New Day to help Peter figure out why his DNA is mutating and making him more like a spider and less like a man. And I think these characters can connect really well on multiple levels and hopefully introduce a great mentor for Peter, as they both have scientific and heroic backgrounds in common that also got them both into partnership with the one Tony Stark. And funny enough, these 2 have somehow yet to interact with each other since Hulk was absent from Civil War and Peter was not at the battle for Wakanda. And now if Hulk and Spider-Man team up here, this also continues the legacy of giving Peter one major Avenger to partner with in all of his movies, starting with Iron Man, then Nick Fury, to Doctor Strange, and now the Incredible Hulk. So this could be really cool, but we just have to hope that we do not get Soy Hulk, which again, all comes down to good writing. And to get the best guess on how well written a movie is, you typically look to who the writer is. And as a reminder, even though these movies take place within the MCU, they are not just made by Disney, but Sony, which is the lesser of 2 evils here. But you also need to take into consideration that Sony's not exactly the perfect savior we need, as this is still the same studio behind Morbius and Madam Web.
He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died.
Oh, for crying out loud.
And you also may be concerned to hear that Spider-Man Brand New Day is directed by the same writer and director of Shang-Chi and Wonder Man, which actually isn't as worrying when you take into consideration that it was the writing that held Shang-Chi back the most.
On a dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair.
Here, please hit me as hard as you can. Don't hold back.
And thankfully, Brand New Day's bringing back the writers from the last 3 Spider-Home movies, which is a pretty good sign as they have yet to make a bad Spider-Man movie. So, there is a lot of good signs pointing towards Brand New Day being a bright spot for the year. But there are also still so many ifs surrounding this film that I still think it's safest to stay cautiously optimistic.
Thanks for watching
DUCKFINDER
on YouTube. For more premium content, subscribe.